What up, young gods? It's your boy Mayan, and today's question is: are you self-aware? Spoilers, you are. But before we continue, hit up that like, share, and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. To our current understanding, humans are the most self-aware organisms known to exist. Or are we? To better understand self-awareness, like usual, we need to better understand ourselves. Our bodies have an extremely high degree of order. Long story short, we are extremely complex moving patterns of energy. Before moving forward, I would just like to introduce a law of the universe: entropy. Entropy is the nature of the universe to go from an ordered to disordered state. This is why ordered hot air expands into disordered cold air, and why an ordered ice cube melts into a disordered puddle of water. The universe has a tendency to favor the chaos. The second law of thermodynamics states that the entropy or disorder of a closed system can never decrease. This is why you will never see cold air spontaneously compressed back into hot air. So if the universe is supposed to go from ordered to disordered, why does life become more ordered as it evolves? I would like to categorize life or energy into 3 stages. Stage 1, the level of awareness. Stage 2, the level of self-replication. Stage 3, the level of self-awareness. Each of these 3 levels is a spectrum. Though there is a single defining point between each level, there are an infinite number of steps between them. The same way there are an infinite number of decimal numbers between 1 and 2, there is a single defining point when 1 becomes 2. The first level includes inanimate matter and consists of the elements: fire, water, earth, and air. The bottom of the first level predictably includes the simplest forms of energy, the elementary particles. I call it the level of awareness because particles can only react. They can't act or make conscious decisions, only undergo random change. Particles could be considered intelligent energy because they have an awareness of their surroundings based on the laws of physics. For an example, an electron knows, is wired, or is aware that it is an electron and not a proton, and so on. Therefore, the minimal level of intelligence of all energy in the universe is the awareness of the laws of physics. Next on the chain, we have subatomic particles, then atoms, and then molecules. As we go from gas to liquid to solid, the organization of molecules becomes increasingly ordered. At the end of this level, we have crystals, which have a much higher degree of order because they consist of self-repeating molecular patterns. Though crystals have self-repeating patterns, they are unable to self-replicate, which brings us to stage 2, the level of self-replication and growth. At the bottom of this level, we have the first self-replicating structures, which include DNA and RNA. DNA is able to make copies or clone itself, allowing itself to live on throughout the generations, a defining trait not seen in the previous level. The degree of order in a strand of DNA is exponentially larger than a crystal. Unlike the elements that undergo random change, the energy systems at this level undergo a much more structured random change. Following DNA on the ladder would be precursor single-celled organisms, then single-celled organisms like bacteria, followed by simple multicellular organisms like most fungi, all the way up to complex multicellular organisms like plants and most animals. Chill, Mayan, how are you categorizing DNA and animals in the same level? Like I said, each level is a spectrum, and plants and most animals lack the defining trait necessary for the last stage: self-awareness. A method used to test self-awareness is the mirror test. When you look into a mirror, you are aware that the gorgeous individual you see in the mirror is indeed yourself. That said, animals are unable to tell that the reflection is indeed themselves. Taking this a step further is the mark test. Animals are marked in a spot that is only visible using the mirror. If animals begin investigating or attempting to wipe off the mark using self-directed behavior, it is an indication that the animal is aware that the reflection is itself. There are only a few animals capable of self-recognizing themselves, including the great apes, dolphins, and elephants. For comparison, a young human child is able to easily self-recognize itself in a mirror. Level 2, complex systems of energy known as organisms are able to both react and act, but these actions are simple, mechanical, or robotic as they are performed due to biochemical necessity, for example in search of food or water. At level 3, energy systems are able to both react and act, but these actions are far more complex and not only conducted out of biochemical necessity, but also out of self-aware desire. for there arises a desire for knowledge, a desire for love, a desire for laughter, and so on. As we go up the ladder, we can see that the more complex and ordered energy systems are, the more intelligent life becomes. In that same thought, is consciousness simply a function of complexity? Will energy become self-aware given enough time? Is life inevitable? And lastly, are there higher levels to life or energy beyond self-awareness? That was the last of the introductory foundation videos. Check the rest of them out in the Are You a Baby God playlist. From now onwards, we're going to be branching off into a bunch of diverse, cool content. So stay open-minded, like, share, and subscribe. But till then, stay woke, baby gods.